What if I told you that some of the books that I couldn't finish was somebody else's all time favorite? Let's see if their love can convince me to give those books a second try. My name is Raquel. Welcome and welcome back. So, today we are going to be reading some five-star reviews on books that I've DNF'd. And I want to see if those reviews can convince me to give those books another try. So I've chosen five books. We're going to go ahead and get started. So the first book is The Reformatory. So I DNF The Reformatory. It was my most recent DNF. It was, I want to say, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I read probably um, maybe 3 or 4 chapters. It started to get into, I guess, maybe the haints and stuff like that, and maybe that's why I DNF'd it. But like when I think about it, I really just couldn't figure out what was going on. It was getting confusing for me, and then I couldn't figure out the difference between the real people and the paints or spirits or whatever it was. And so I just DNF'd it. I really tried because I put it down and I went back to it. And I think that's how I was able to get like maybe 4 chapters in. But I pulled up some five-star ratings from Amazon on these books. And so we're going to get into it. I'm not going to read what the books are about. So Reformatory is about this boy who gets put in the reformatory for kicking a white man on behalf of his sister. And he sees spirits. So when he goes to the reformatory, I believe he is going to be able to see the spirits of the dead children. That's kind of what I got from the synopsis. I'm not saying that's what it's about, but that's what I got from it. So here is the review. It says, an emotional and gripping historical fiction with supernatural horrors. This was reviewed on February 16th of 2025, and like I said, they gave it a five-star review. It says, as as of the writing of this review, this book is currently number one on Amazon Kindle store in Black and African American horror fiction. And let me tell you, it deserves to be there. This was hands down the easiest five-star rating I ever given. This is a historical fiction horror novel that is chilling and emotional, surrounding supernatural horror and very real horrors of racism. Set in the 1950s Florida, the story follows the journey of a young boy named Robert Stephens Jr., who is sent to a notorious and abusive reformatory school after being unjustly sentenced for assault after kicking the son of the wealthiest landowner in Graceland. The narrative delves deeply into the dark history of institutionalized racism, systemic abuse, and the lasting effects of trauma. There is a strong and multi-dimensional character development in this novel, both inside the school and outside, with Robert's sister Gloria, who will stop at nothing to free her brother. Robbie is a compelling protagonist, and his struggle to survive not just the reformatory's abuse, but also the terrifying ghost that haunts its hall. Is emotionally intense. The narrative explores themes of identity, resilience, and survival, making it more than just a ghost story. It's a journey of coming to terms with the past and fighting against systemic evil. We also explore the concept of family, not just in the biological sense, but in terms of solidarity and shared history. There's a rich undercurrent of community and the importance of remembrance. The way Du portrays this helps to give a sense of purpose and humanity amid the bleakness of the story. Jesus, this person wrote a whole story, the whole book themselves. Overall, the Reformatory is a masterful blend of historical reflection and supernatural horror. It is it is not only a page turner but also an emotional and powerful narrative that speaks to the scars left by racism and injustice, while also shining a light on the power of hope and survival. It's a must read for fans of horror with a social edge, as well as readers who appreciate deep, impactful storytelling. Um, yeah, whoever wrote this, they definitely make it sound interesting. Um, I do think I am gonna to uh, go back to the reformatory. I'm I like the historical fiction of it all. And so I think that's what's pulling me in. And there, I'm not really into the horror so much, but I'm getting into the horror. I'm working on it. So yeah, I think um, I might go ahead and get back with the reformatory. But that was one heck of a review. Whew. And so now we're going to get into the 5-star review of Men We Read by Jasmine Ward. I DNF this book like sometime last year. This is a memoir. I thought it was a story, but I found out it was a memoir. And so I'm kind of not really interested in a memoir by Jasmine Ward. At this point, I have only read one of her books, which is Let Us Descend, and I loved it. It read like poetry. Um, but I'm not really interested in a memoir from Jasmine Ward. So The Men We Read is going to be a no. And then the next book is The Queen of Sugar Hill by Rashonda Tate. I DNF this book. I have no idea who Hattie McDaniels was. And I kind of still don't know who she is. I do believe that's the lady from Gone with the Wind. And that's really kind of all I know about her. So she's an act. Oh, you know what? She is one of the first black actress in a movie, or was she the first black actress in a movie that got nominated for an Oscar? I don't know. It has something to do with her being the first black lady something a movie. Um so anyway, here is the 5-star review, which was written on April 27th, 25, which was very recent. We're just in May, so this is only a couple weeks ago. It says, I love the story of Hattie McDaniel. I've seen the movie Gone with the Wind, but never that much about the background actors as much as the maid Hattie played. What? I love the story of Hattie McDaniels. I've seen the movie Gone with the Wind, but never thought that much about the background actors such as the maid Hattie played. It was thoroughly engaging, sad, and inspiring how this woman Hattie became an actress and what kept her going knowing her obstacles with racism and gender. I love the book from beginning to end. Okay, so I was right. She is the lady with Gone with the Wind. Um, I actually like Rashonda Tate books, and this is definitely going to be some historical fiction. So I think I'll go ahead and try it out. Um, And you know what? I don't know that it has any much to do with this here review because they didn't really say anything. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and give the Queen of Sugar Hill another try. There is another review. I just didn't want to take a lot of time on this video, but I'm going to go ahead and read another 5-star review of The Queen of Sugar Hill. It says, I absolutely love this book. I wasn't familiar with Hattie McDaniels, but by the end, I felt like I knew more than I expected. I can tell the author did her research. Hattie's story was memorable. the many hurdles she faced during her acting career. The way she wanted to be loved and remembered was admirable. I can't lie, the many marriages and relationships were a lot, but I felt like Hattie was yearning for something more, perhaps what she was missing in her career. I don't know, but the men were walking red flags. The end was bittersweet. I felt awful that someone of this stature didn't have more, but I'm glad she went out in her own way with her pride and dignity intact. The audiobook was fantastic. Okay, now this one gave me a little something. Um, yeah, I think I am gonna go ahead and read it. I actually think that I might really like the book based on this review. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get the audiobook because she said it was fantastic. He or she said it was fantastic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then Nightcrawler by Layla Motley. Nightcrawler, I DNF'd this book not long ago, maybe a month ago or so. I think I only read a very little bit, like maybe a chapter, maybe two. Not definitely not more than two chapters. Um, and Nightcrawler is about, I think it's about this girl and her brother who is younger than her, and I think they go through a lot of hardships because it's just I don't know what happens to the parents. I just know it's the girl and her brother, and the girl is working, and I think her brother isn't doing anything. But I kind of think I thought her brother was a little boy, but I remember one part where she's talking to this girl. I think it's her friend or somebody, and she's upset because her brother isn't doing anything to help, and the girl is convinced, well, the friend is trying to convince her that it's okay for her brother to sit around and do nothing, um, possibly because he maybe worked before. I don't know. Let's get into this 5-star review. It says, this is a really incredible book, and I'm impressed that it's a debut and was written by a 17. Whoa, okay. It was written by a 17-year-old. Layla Motley is so talented, and I look forward to reading her work. I also highly recommend listening to At the Sax Spot, at the Stacks Pod, at the Stacks Pod conversation with her, which gave me further insight on her thought process and helped inform my reading of this novel as I listened to it before I read most of the book. Our central character is Kiara, a 17-year-old black girl in Oakland. She is struggling to do whatever she needs to do to survive, whatever she needs for survival. Her dad has died years before, and her mom has been in jail. She lives, wait a minute, where am I? Sorry about that. I lost my place. Okay. She lives with her older brother. Okay. He's older. She lives with her older brother, Marcus, who is trying to become a rapper and doesn't have a job. Kiara feels responsible for herself and Marcus, while also wanting him to step up and do more, as well as for her neighbor's young son, Trevor. She tries to find a job at various local places, but no one will hire her to get the money that she needs for increased rent. She turns to the streets and sex work. Oh wow. I had no idea any of this was going on in the book. Um, the story shows how this happens almost by accident and then continues because it becomes the only way for her to afford to live. The story is heartbreaking as we see Kiara exploited by a group of cops, sometimes for money and sometimes in exchange for not arresting her. This is related to a true story from Oakland that I did not know about, but I will be reading more about. Seeing how everything unfolds with this case broke my heart for Kiera. There are so many relationships highlighted here. One that I would have liked to read even more of is the relationship between Kiera and her best friend, Ellie. I love their love and how it was complicated but nuanced, and how Ellie got mad at Kiera for her decisions, sometimes because she cared. The relationship between Kiera and Trevor was also a powerful part of the story, as Kiera tries to fill the void of his mother's absence. Oh wow, I am definitely gonna read the Nightcrawler. It um, sounds really interesting. There's a lot in this book to unpack, and I'm sure it would make for a great discussion. Okay, well, thank you for that review. I definitely found this helpful. So I am going to definitely read The Nightcrawler. Um, and then the next book is Swift Rivers by S.E. Chamber. So I DNF'd Swift River last year. I DNF'd Swift River maybe 2 or 3 times. So I know that Swift River is about this girl who is biracial. Her dad goes out for something or another and never comes home. Her dad is black, her mom is white, and so she lives in this predominantly white area, and they walk everywhere they go. That's kind of the only thing I know about Swift River. Off the top of my head, I did read the synopsis. The synopsis was interesting, but at this point, those are the only things that I remember about Swift River. So let's get into this 5-star review of it. It says, a good friend recommended this book and I'm glad I read it. It tells the story of a teenage biracial fat girl living in a all white sundown town. Okay, I didn't know it was a sundown town, so that makes the difference. With her white crazy mother after her black father disappears. This person, oh my God, the shade. Um, Chamber vividly captures a teen's emotions. My excitement for tomorrow feels both bright and heavy, like a first chuckle after a long cry. Okay, so I don't know. I guess maybe this is a line in the book. My excitement for tomorrow feels both bright and heavy, like a first chuckle after a long cry. Okay, if you say so, whoever wrote this. And then it says, her writing is beautiful. The night is thick and holding its breath. Her sadness is sometimes awful, thick and heavy with its own sour smell. So it sounds like this book is going to kind of sound like poetry. Like I was saying, the book Let Us Descend kind of gave me poetry vibes. I don't even want to talk about Let Us Descend. That book was so freaking heavy. It was, oh my God. But it was very, very good. And it sounds like this book is written sounding like poetry. Anyway, it says, as a recovering compulsive overeater myself, I felt Chambers' deep understanding of the disease. Diamond, the main character, badly wanted to eat a discarded McDonald's burger. The author knows about dumb, crazy, naive teenage girls who've been sexually abused, noticing how normal people eat. There are several storylines laced throughout the book. Diamond receives letters from an aunt on her missing father's side detailing her father's childhood and the mysterious leaving of all the black people from their small town. Her aunt decided to stay when everyone left, and she shares her intense feelings when she, as a black man, okay, I'm going to read that over again. Her aunt decides to stay when everyone left, and she shares her intense feelings when she sees a black man after years of being the only black person in town. Woven on top of that is the present day storyline of Diamond's fraught relationship with classmate Shelley. They both hope to leave the oppressive town forever, but will they? Hmm. I Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to check out Swift River, which, like I said, I DNF'd it, but I kept going back to it. I really wanted to read it, and now it seems that I have a little bit more information than I had before. I think I'm actually gonna get into it. So this was pretty cool. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books. Let me know which ones you think I should read. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Until next time, see you soon.